Welcome back to Building Foundations, the podcast by DGI Waterproofing. We're kind of picking up where we left off in our last episode. Can you waterproof basements in the winter?
Yeah,
Remember we were saying that dealing with water issues is a year-round headache?
it never stops.
Well, today we are tackling the most stressful scenario of them all.
Yeah,
A fully flooded basement.
yeah, that's right. Every homeowner's worst nightmare. And while we always hope it never happens to you, being prepared is key. So today we're going to kind of put on our metaphorical detective hats and walk you through exactly what to do if you ever find yourself facing a flooded basement.
I like that. We're gonna guide you from that initial panic through the cleanup and all the way to those long-term solutions.
Absolutely.
They'll make you feel confident your basement is truly protected.
Yeah, because let's be honest, a flooded basement isn't just about the mess and the damage. It's about that feeling of insecurity it creates.
Yeah.
We want to give you the tools to reclaim that sense of security and know your home is safe.
For sure, for sure. Okay, let's set the scene. You head down to the basement, and you're greeted by standing water.
Oh, no.
Your heart's racing. What's the absolute first thing you should do?
Okay, hands down. Before you even think about grabbing a mop, safety first. Turn off the power to the basement immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Water and electricity are a dangerous mix, and you do not want to risk electrocution.
And to add to that, if your electrical panel is in the flooded area, don't go near it. Call a licensed electrician. It's just not worth the risk.
Absolutely. Better to be safe than sorry. Now, once the power is off, remember that floodwater is often contaminated. It could be anything from sewage to chemicals.
Right.
So before you wade in, gear up. Waterproof boots, gloves, and a mask are non-negotiable.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the detective work begins, right?
Yeah,
We need to figure out the source of the water to really understand the best course of action.
exactly. Is it rainwater? Did a pipe burst? Or could it be a sewage backup? Each situation requires a slightly different approach.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, so what are some clues we should be looking for?
Start with the obvious. Is it storming outside? Check for any dripping pipes or appliances. And trust your nose. A foul odor usually signals a sewage problem, which is a whole other ballgame.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're gathering clues, another crucial step is documentation.
Yes.
I know it's probably the last thing on your mind when you're ankle deep in water, but grabbing your phone and taking photos and videos is crucial.
It's your best friend when it comes to insurance claims.
Right.
Capture the extent of the flooding, any damaged items, any structural problems you notice.
Yep.
The more evidence, the better.
Okay, let's say we've assessed the situation, documented everything, and the initial shock is worn off.
Okay.
What happens next? Can we start pumping out the water ourselves?
You know, it's tempting to jump into DIY mode, but when it comes to water removal, it's generally best to call in the professionals. They have the heavy-duty equipment and the expertise to handle it safely and efficiently, especially when dealing with high water volume or potential contamination.
Right.
Plus, they know how to dispose of the water properly, which is something homeowners often overlook.
Yeah, it's not just about getting the water OUT. It's about making sure it's gone for good
Exactly.
and doesn't cause more problems down the line.
Exactly. And that leads us to the next phase, cleanup and restoration.
Okay.
This is where things get a little more nuanced.
Okay, so the water's out.
Yeah.
What are the pros doing now that most people wouldn't even think of?
Drying and dehumidification are absolutely key. We use industrial-grade fans and dehumidifiers to rapidly remove moisture from the air and surfaces.
Right.
Think of it as giving your basement a super-powered blow-dry. And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
We also use moisture meters to detect any hidden water lurking in walls or floors that you wouldn't see with the naked eye.
So you're not just drying what you can see, you're finding the moisture hiding in the structure itself.
Exactly. Because if you miss that hidden moisture, it's a recipe for mold, and nobody wants that.
No. Nobody wants it. Okay, so the drying is handled. What about the mold situation?
We do a thorough mold inspection, remove any existing growth, and treat surfaces with antimicrobial solutions to prevent future problems.
Okay.
It's about getting rid of the current issue, A&D preventing it from coming back.
Gotcha. I bet a lot of people think cleanup is just about wiping things down, but it sounds like it's way more involved than that.
Oh, it is. Remember, floodwater carries all kinds of nasty stuff. We use specialized cleaners and disinfectants to make sure your basement is safe to use again.
Right. Okay, so let's say the cleanup is done.
Okay.
Now it's time to talk about those long-term solutions.
Yeah.
So we never have to deal with this again.
Right. We've tackled the immediate crisis. Now we need to prevent history from repeating itself.
Right.
And there are a lot of options depending on the root cause of the flooding and the specifics of your home.
Okay, let's start with the big one. Exterior waterproofing. I know we've touched on this before, but for those who missed it, can you give us the rundown?
Think of it as creating a waterproof shield around your foundation.
Yep.
We apply a protective membrane to the exterior walls, basically stopping water from seeping in before it even becomes a problem.
So it's like giving your foundation its own raincoat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to make it even more effective, we often combine it with things like French drains or weeping tiles,
Okay.
which are systems that redirect water away from the foundation.
So you're stopping the water and directing it where you want it to go.
Precisely. Now, sometimes exterior waterproofing isn't feasible, maybe because of landscaping or limited access.
Right.
In those cases, we turn to interior waterproofing systems.
So if you can't stop the water from the outside, you manage it once it gets in.
That's the idea. We install perimeter drains beneath the basement floor. These drains collect water and direct it to a sump pump, which is basically the heart of the system.
Okay, sump pumps are kind of a mystery to a lot of people. Can you demystify them for us?
Sure. A sump pump sits in a pit, usually in the lowest part of your basement. When water flows into the pit, the pump automatically kicks on and pumps it out and away from your house.
Okay.
Think of it like a little underground soldier fighting back against the water.
I love that analogy. But what happens if the power goes out during a storm?
Oh.
Doesn't that make the sump pump useless?
That's where battery backups come in. They're essential for ensuring your sump pump keeps working even during a power outage, giving you that extra layer of protection when you need it most.
Oh, that's good. That's the kind of peace of mind you want, especially if you live in an area prone to flooding.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Now, on top of those systems, we also need to address any foundation cracks.
Right.
Those can be sneaky little entry points for water.
So we're back to playing detective, looking for those tiny clues that could lead to big problems.
Exactly. Even a hairline crack can allow significant amounts of water to seep in.
And how do you deal with them? Just slap on some sealant and call it a day.
It's more sophisticated than that. We use techniques like epoxy or polyurethane injections to seal the crack from the inside.
Okay.
It's like filling the crack with a super strong waterproof glue.
So you're not just patching it up, you're creating a lasting barrier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, even with the best waterproofing systems, there are things you can do outside the house to help prevent water problems. Proper drainage and grading are essential.
Yeah, I've heard the term grading thrown around a lot. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Grading refers to the slope of the ground around your house.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, you want the ground to slope away from the foundation so water naturally flows away from your house.
Just about directing the water where you want it to go, not letting it pool up against your foundation.
Exactly. And simple things like extending your downspouts can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Just make sure they're directing water away from the house at least 6 feet away, ideally.
You know, it's amazing how many seemingly small things can impact a basement's vulnerability to water.
It's all connected, and that's why we always emphasize a holistic approach to waterproofing. It's not just about one solution, it's about understanding how all the pieces fit together.
So it's like a puzzle, and you need to find all the right pieces to create a complete picture of protection.
Exactly. And that's where our expertise comes in.
Right.
We've seen it all, and we know how to assess the situation, identify the root causes, and recommend the best course of action.
I am sensing a shameless plug coming on.
You know me too well. But seriously, that's what we're here for. We want to empower homeowners with the knowledge and the solutions they need to keep their basements dry and safe.
Okay, I give you that one.
Now, I know some people might be thinking, can I just DIY this waterproofing thing?
Yeah.
And while there are some minor repairs you can tackle yourself when it comes to major waterproofing, it's generally best to call in the professionals.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Aside from the obvious complexity, what are the risks of going the DIY route?
Well, for starters, you could end up making the problem worse if you don't fully understand what you're doing. Plus, you might void any warranties on materials if they're not installed correctly. And let's be honest, waterproofing isn't exactly a fun DIY project. It's messy, it's time-consuming, and it requires specialized tools and knowledge.
Right, so you're saying it's best to leave it to the experts who do this day in and day out.
Exactly. We have the experience, the training, and the equipment to get the job done right.
And you've seen all the ways things can go wrong.
Oh, we've got stories. But we'll save those for another episode. The point is, professional waterproofing provides that lasting protection and peace of mind, knowing your basement is truly safeguarded.
Okay, I'm sold on the pro approach. But I'm curious, what are some things homeowners can do to prepare for that initial consultation with a waterproofing expert?
That's a great question. Before we arrive, it's helpful if you can gather some information like when you first noticed the problem, any previous repairs you've attempted, and any specific concerns you have.
So it's like having a pre-game strategy session for your basement's health.
Exactly. The more information we have, the better we can assess the situation and recommend the right solution.
You know, we've covered a lot of ground today, but I think it's important to remember that a waterproofed basement isn't just about preventing damage.
Right.
It's about protecting your home, your investment, and ultimately your peace of mind.
Couldn't have said it better myself. A dry basement is a happy basement. And a happy basement makes for a happy homeowner.
And we spent this whole episode walking you through every aspect of dealing with a flooded basement.
From those heart-stopping initial moments to those long-term solutions that'll have you sleeping soundly.
Right.
Knowing your home is protected.
But there's one crucial piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about yet.
And that's what makes DGI Waterproofing the company you can trust to handle it all.
Exactly. So let's pull back the curtain a bit and talk about what sets us apart.
Well, first and foremost, it's our team.
Yeah, we've got some of the most skilled and experienced waterproofing professionals in the industry.
And they're not just experts. They're passionate about what they do.
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. They genuinely care about helping homeowners solve these problems.
Absolutely.
Protect the biggest investment.
Yeah, and that passion translates into quality work.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're committed to using only the highest quality materials and the most advanced techniques.
Because, let's face it, a waterproofing solution is only as good as the materials and expertise behind it.
Yeah, you want something that's going to last.
Right.
And that's where our dedication to using the best of the best really shines.
And we're so confident in our work that we offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
That's right. We stand behind everything we do because we truly believe in providing lasting solutions. And that sense of security that comes with knowing your basement is protected.
But it's not just about the technical stuff.
Right.
At DGI, we pride ourselves on our exceptional customer service.
From the initial consultation to the final walkthrough.
Absolutely.
We're with you every step of the way.
We believe in clear communication, transparency, and treating our clients like partners in the process.
It's about building trust and making sure you feel informed, empowered, and confident in the choices you're making for your home.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, hearing the feedback from our clients.
Me too. It's incredibly rewarding to know we've helped someone solve a problem and create that feeling of security in their home.
It's those success stories that really fuel our passion for what we do.
For sure. So if you're dealing with a wet basement, or even if you just want to be proactive and protect your home, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah, we're the experts in keeping basements dry and safe throughout Toronto and the GTA.
Give us a call for a free consultation.
Yeah.
And let's get started on making your basement a worry-free zone.
That's a wrap on this episode of Building Foundations.
Thanks for joining us.
Remember, a dry basement is a happy basement.
And a happy homeowner.
Until next time, stay dry and stay safe.